record it. So we have the honor and the privilege to speak to Amber tonight, and she is one of my all-time favorite people. She has such an amazing balance of grace and humility, but also mixed with a little bit of sugar and spice. And so I always appreciate talking to her because I think that she does such an awesome job of communicating the wisdom that she has. And so every single time I feel like I learn something from her. And so I am not going to take that much time tonight, but I am going to start us off in prayer if that's okay. And then we will close out in prayer as well. So dear Jesus, we just want to say thank you so much for this time that we have together. We want to say thank you for the community that you've built. We know without you, nothing would be possible. We know that without you, we wouldn't want anything like this to be possible because you are the glue that holds us all together. And so we just want to say thank you for allowing us to have this time of community, and just to remind each other and ourselves that you are at the center of it all. We love you so much, Jesus. I ask that our conversations be pleasing to you tonight, and that you just bless every single person on here with some wisdom, with some encouragement, and whatever it is they need tonight. In your name we pray. Amen. So Amber, hi sister. I am going to I'm going to let you kind of share your story a little bit, and then we have some questions for you and a group of people who are so excited to get to know you a little bit better.
Well, I'm excited, you guys. So first of all, I just have 2 requests. Can I do that? Can we start that off? First of all, if you can turn your camera on, I love to connect with people. And if I can't see your face, it doesn't give me the opportunity to see what the Lord has for me for you. And I just really like seeing your faces. And then I like to connect. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I've seen you 6 times on Zooms. Hi. Right. And I think that I have a lot of friends and I probably don't, but can you pretend to be my friend maybe? Okay. And if you can't, then please, no worries. Don't do it if it's too distracting, because if you're not here, then I'm like, what are you doing? Hey, can I come with you? Right. So, and then the other thing is that if you're going to be here tonight, just be here. Okay. I get that it's probably a lot of different time zones, and we're all crazy. My kids are eating dinner right now, but just be here. All right, cool. So a little bit about my story, you guys. I started this business in 2012, August, actually, mid-August. And after seeing it since April to August, I kept seeing it on social media from a stranger. It was back when Facebook had advertisements on the side that kind of flowed, and they were sponsored ads, and they were there, and I saw this belly, and I was like, I need it. It's actually a scam, and if I click on it, I might get a virus on my computer. This was back then, guys. It's not 2020, all right? So I was really scared, but I clicked on it anyways. I was like, I have a techie husband, so he'll fix it if it gets a virus, but I really want to get information on that. So I clicked on it, and it connected me with a girl who was doing this part-time. She was just doing it for basically free product, and I went and tried a wrap. At that moment, you guys, our bank account was negative about $500. That was normal. Every single mid-month, that was normal for us. The day before I delivered our son, our lights were shut off, and I remember asking my husband, it was April 15th. We delivered my son, and April 16th was his birthday. And I remember asking, what do you want for your birthday? And he was like, I just want to help the baby and help the wife. And we had people at our house, and I remember driving home being like, do we have electricity? And that's how broke we were. And so, and I say that, so hopefully if that isn't you guys, I pray that that's never your day. But if that is you, I hope that this is giving you hope. Okay. I was also depressed. I gained 100 pounds with my daughter, 80 with my son. My heaviest was 210 pounds, and I'm 5'2" on a really good day, guys. On like a good dressed, good hair day. Okay. So for me, that was not normal, and to have something different. And how many of you guys are moms? Like, we tend to lose ourselves. We gain this beautiful baby and family, but we lost ourselves. And what is that? What good is that to bring a baby and lose yourself? Right? So I kept seeing this, and I just wanted my body back. I actually wanted my relationship with my husband to be the best. And if you can relate, and sometimes I share this part, and sometimes I don't. So here we are. If you can relate to not feeling confident and married, oh, that's my Zoom to jump on. It was snoozing on my last one. But if you can relate to that, and you want to feel confident in your body and be the best wife, but then the best mom and the best version of you, that's what I was craving. And I tried that stinking body wrap, and it worked, and I cried, and I was like, my stretch marks are shrunk in 45 minutes. I don't know what you just put on me, but I got to have more of them. And she was like, you can be a customer. And I was like, well, I'm a successful stylist, but I just actually don't know where my bills are going to be next month. So I actually can't afford to be a customer. And I never said that. I said, well, what are the other options? And she said, for $40 more, you can be a rep and at least have the option to make money. And I was like, money? In the back of my head, I'm like, we need money. We need lots of it, because I can't do hair more than I am now. And my husband can't work any more jobs than he is right now to kind of keep us afloat. And so after trying the body wrap, you guys, I fell in love. I went Ruby in 45 days off of my own personal results. I was obsessed with them. And did I get slack? Yeah. Oh yeah. Did people say that's not real? I'm like, that's my belly. Surely that's real. But they trusted me because I was a product of the product. And I was also one of those people that swore up and down I was going to be a kidnapper. I just wanted the wraps because I didn't want an auto ship. And I had the option to make money. And I missed out on my product credit, never got that, went Ruby in 45 days off my own personal results. And then I never had an upline or a sponsor. Okay. She wasn't doing the business. So I was pretty much on my own. And remember, I said I wasn't going to do the business. So once I did, I was too prideful enough to go ask for help, and I had to study everything myself. So it was me and Josh in this battle against what is this business? And he actually worked for a marketing company, corporate side. So he knew comp plan. And he looked at this and he says, you have something in your hands. And I was like, yeah, I know, it's body wraps and they're really awesome. And he's like, no. You have something in your hands that I think we could really dive into. So he started studying comp plan and studying the company and the family. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm zero green. I just want money. I need to feel loved, and I'm yellow. So tell me what I have to do. And so we worked together to try and build this. And what I knew at the time was that there was I went Ruby, and I remember making that phone call and getting that first paycheck. My first check was like $380 as a Ruby, and with fast starts, right? And that was back then when it was like, I was like 4,000 volume Ruby, which makes sense. And I remember wanting to quit. I made that phone call and I said, I'm done. I'm so done. I worked 45 freaking days straight. Every night I worked in the salon, and at night we would swap our kids. He would take the kids and I would go to houses. I would go to wrap parties. I would go to friends' houses, and I would work. And until midnight, 7 days a week. And I knew it was temporary, but I knew if I put my head down, we could really change our life in 1 year. And was it hard? For sure. But it ain't hard today. And I did that for 8 months, you guys, 8 months. That's all it took. Every single day working my business consistently for 8 months. And the girl that I called, she was in we went Ruby together, she was Emerald. And she said, Amber, there's a bonus on the line. And I'm sure you don't know this because you don't, like, nobody knows who you are, but you can get it. And I was like, no, dude, that's a freaking scam. Like, I'm over this. Like, $380 for 45 days. Like, I need more. And what the point is I was mad that it wasn't enough. Right. So we want to quit when we see those, oh, my check's only $100. Well, you're actually pissed because it's not enough. Right. So I remember she was like, do what you do it for the next 45 days and you can get that bonus. And I was like, fine. So I did. And you guys, all I knew was the bonus was available from the time it was date to date. That's what I thought, not month to month, right? So I went diamond November 15th. I learned to, I think Jody's unmuted. Oh, there we go. So I went diamond November 15th because I learned to push all my customers to the beginning of the month because I thought that they all had to run and I had the volume by the 15th of the month. So that was a tip that I started learning. I don't have 30 days to build my business. I have 15 days to build my business. And I can maybe jump into that a little bit too. But so ever since then, I've ran my business that way. I work in 15 days. I get my business done. And that way I have 15 days for my team. And I went diamond. I went to conference. God spoke to me in that moment. And I didn't have faith, guys. Like this has been something I've grown because of this business. But I remember sinking down in my chair. My downline actually bought my plane ticket. That's how broke we were. And I went to conference and God said, why not you? I was like, I'm sorry. I'm not 6'10", a big blonde. And I had black hair back then. And I just don't fit this. This is not for me. Like, I am not those guys. And that's when he said again, why not you? And I was like, okay. So I texted my husband and I said, I'm retiring you. And he's like, sounds good. Like, cool. Right. Like every husband wants to believe that. They want that to happen. And that January I went to conference and I looked at my team and I said, how many of you want this? And I went and I helped enough people get what they wanted. And then that gave me from diamond to triple in 30 days. And just 8 months in the business. And then a year of triple, I went pres. A few months later, I went pres. And then a year later, I went ambassador. So 2.5 years ambassador, and double diamond on 2.0. And so I've learned that this fulfills the same vision and goals that being a stylist does. I wanted to make people feel better. That's why I love doing hair. They sat in my chair, felt one way, they left feeling another way. And I get to do the same thing with this business. And so 5 years ago, I guess, we built our dream home because of this business. We've been a full-time family ever since. And my son, who's 9, only knows mom and dad both home. With them, we pulled our kids from school 3 years ago and decided to homeschool them on a limb. I'm not the smartest cookie in the book, but I knew that as I wanted to spend time with my kids, and we sold our home in April. We now travel the country full time in a fifth wheel, and it is so cool to see the people, the places, the things that we get to experience. And so learning a new balance of how do I be a mom? How do I be a present mom, actually? How do I be a present wife? And how do I build this business has been one of the coolest things the last 4 months has given me. So here we are.
I love it so much. That was amazing. So I didn't really know some of that, which was really cool for me, because I feel like, I mean, every time I share my story too, it's the same thing where it's like, I just share different parts and you're like, I don't know where that came from, but I guess somebody needed to hear it. So I love it. And I love hearing all the little details that it makes you just appreciate so much more knowing where a person has come from, and then understanding you never know where somebody has come from, anybody you talk to. So one of the first things that you said that I have a question about is you went Ruby in 45 days off of your results. And one of the things that I also heard you say before that was that you weren't confident. But you shared your own results. So how did you get that courage to share your results while you still weren't confident? Because a wrap does a lot, but a wrap ain't gonna make you just confident overnight to be sharing your belly all over the place. So what was that thought process like? Because I know it could change so many people's business, because we're all about the destination and not about the journey, but really people are intrigued by the journey more than they are the destination. So what was your thought process?
So 2 things. Ruby used to be 5 distributors. There wasn't I don't think that there was a volume cap on it. I could be wrong, but it was 5 distributors at 400 volume each. So right around, I don't do math, figure it out. But that to me was help enough people get what they want. And I remember it wasn't my friends and family. My very first distributor it's a full, oh dang it. Can you guys hear me? My internet sometimes goes out of whack. Am I good?
It's like breaking up. You sound like a robot for a second, but
darn it usually will pop up and I'll notice it. So joys of living on the road, I guess. It says it should be good. Okay. Cut me off if it's not. So it's a full circle. The first thing I want to talk about in this business is you. Okay. So often we want to do it Kelsey's way or Alyssa's way or Hannah's way. And we want to mimic what they do, but your journey is going to be different. And your passionate product, whatever product you're going to be passionate about, is going to be different than somebody else. And for me, it was those dang body wraps. And you guys, I'm telling you, still to this day, besides the coffee, they're hands down one of the easiest products to sell because they see results in 45 minutes. We live in America. People want results yesterday, okay? They're like, can I drink from a straw and be skinny? No, okay? But they want to know the pain behind the product. And that's what I did. I shared how I was uncomfortable in my own skin. I shared how I didn't like my stretch marks, how I measured them every day by my thumb mark to see if they were even shrinking at all. Like, I shared that pain, and that sucks. That's where people they're like, but I put on a show that I'm confident, but I never show my legs that I don't like, but I don't want to. Well, what you're scared of is actually what somebody's praying that they can be related to. Okay? So find that pain and share it vulnerably, and people will be like, I like her. She's cool. Wow. I can relate to that. So find the pain, and then share that passionately. So that's what I did. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited, you guys. Here's my day 2. Here's my day 3. Here's this. And I don't care what product it is. Maybe it's your acne. Maybe it's your hair. Maybe it's your skin. It doesn't matter what it is. You've got to get behind the passion of the pain in the product. All right. So that was the first thing. And as soon as I immediately saw that there was a business opportunity, I led with the business. It was very rare that I talked about being a customer, but I always signed up distributors. In my whole diamond chart, I signed up, there was 24, I signed up all but 1. Every single one of them were me. And it was because I was so lit about this business, because this business was giving me my confidence back that I was missing. And I was honest about missing it, right? And so when you go behind the product, you're going to be passionate about it. You're going to talk about it every single day. You know what's crazy, you guys? This is a true story. We literally were at the farm in this small town in Michigan, which we don't live here. And we run into somebody who's like, is that Amber Parker? This just happened 4 hours ago. I do not live here in this small town. Okay. And they go, oh my gosh, Amber Parker. And I was like, wait, what are the odds? I'm at a farm. And somebody sees us and knows us. And we have been friends with them for years on social media. And they were like, what are you guys doing here? Like, you're in Utah. And I was like, we're traveling. And they're like, we had no idea. I post every single day about how I'm on the road. What do you mean? So this is newsflash. If you're posting about it every single day, there's still people that don't see it. So don't think that because you shared your results 6 weeks ago, that you're annoying for posting them today. Okay. So every single day, you guys want to be passionate because you're adding people. I could get a whole nother conversation. Okay. So I shared my product. I was passionate about it, but then my go-to was, if you're going to use the products, why don't you at least get paid? If you're going to use the products and be a customer, you're already ordering over $100. Why don't you just spend $100 and get $150 in free product? And it automatically just turned everyone around. And I led that way because that's what I wanted. That's what worked for me. Okay. And so every single person, every conversation is offer the opportunity. You're going to start. How many of you guys feel like you're scared to offer the opportunity, or you don't feel like you can recruit because you haven't signed up somebody yet, or you're like, I don't want them to be offended, or like, oh, they're successful anyways. You don't know that. You don't know that. And stop taking from people. Okay. What if she wouldn't have said, hey, Amber, for $40 more, you can at least have the option to make I literally look back and I'm like, thank God she did, because my life has forever been changed. Okay. So, and then message anyone. And again, times have changed, but I literally, we followed a simple system, steps to success, you guys. That's how I went ambassador in 2.5 years. I've never been a mass recruiter. I'm not saying it's wrong. It just doesn't duplicate well. Steps to success. And I teach steps to success. And back then it was like $500 a month. That was all people wanted. Now we have a system for $900. Are you kidding me? Like, why are we not mad loud about this? Right. And so then, the distributor ordered, paid $99, and then it was, and I'm going to teach you guys now. So I'm just going to edit. Okay. So a distributor running an ADBV auto shipment, and then 5 customers at 100 BV, boxes done. But instead we're teaching hair, skin, and nails. You need 14 of them. Oh, we got to do TFX. And then now you need 27 customers to fill in that box. And you feel like everything rises and falls on you. If we can go back to the simple system of how I went ambassador, which is steps of success, teach it out. I don't think in any given month I ever enrolled more than 6 customers. When I went ambassador in the first 2.5 years, it wasn't the way. I just didn't do it. And then Kelsey, what was the second question that you asked? You asked me another one and I forgot because I went off on a rant.
I mean, maybe I did, but I forgot too because I was just listening. Okay. I was just gonna blame it on how good I was listening. So anyway, okay, no, I think that is that's really so simplified. And I think when we really understand the products, it's not easy, but it's easier to sell 100 BV together, because it's like, how are you going to buy one product without the other? Like, right. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. How are you going to sell one product without the other? Like, if I'm talking to somebody about growing their hair out, I'm going to mention collagen and hair, skin, and nails and greens. Like, but a lot of people haven't taken the initiative sometimes to educate themselves about the products or ask about that. And so I think that there is a lot of money that people are missing on making because of that. and just being, okay, here's what I have to offer, A, B,
Right.
or C, right? This is what I would suggest, but it's up to you, and still putting it back, because people are like, I don't want to sound too salesy, or I don't want to do this. And it's like, your job is to have information-led selling. That's like what I like to call it. It's like information-led. Like if you give them the information, they're still making the decision. You can't push anybody into buying anything.
Right. And if you don't ask, the answer is no. And somebody asked in the chat, what were those products? Let me tell you guys, it was a pack. We didn't have, it was very rare we had individual crap. Like like nobody ever bought Fat Fighters alone. That ain't going to do nothing for you. Right. So or we didn't have hair, skin, and nails. We didn't have Reds. We didn't have Hydrate. We didn't have the skincare. Like it's crazy what we have now. And yet people are spending other people's money for them. That was a big mistake I made very early on in my business when I used to sign up all the time back when we had, the kids were 99, 500, or 1,000. And I remember a neighbor came to my house, and she came to my house while I was at a wrap party, and she bought a dresser from me. And she goes, what's this business that your wife's doing? And Josh was like, I don't know, message her. She came over, and because this is rude, and I pray that some of you guys are learning from my lessons, okay? She lived, this is so judgment, and I've grown, so please give me grace. She lived in a townhome that was not in a good part of the area. I judged her. I thought she didn't have money. Guys, like, please don't do this. I'm only telling you this because I think you guys love me and you guys can give me grace, okay? I've learned. She came to my house the next day, and I was like, yeah, it's like $99. Is that going to work? And she was like, oh. She's like, so I researched the comp plan, and I understood that you can make all these bonuses weekly. And I was like, oh, whoa, what? She goes, I want to start with the $5.99 pack. Huh? For real? She made $3,000 in her first 2 weeks because she made that investment. Oh, I got chills even now. The last time I spent someone's money for them. Just because you can't afford it doesn't mean they can't. People will afford anything that they want and that they need. Right? Yep. Can I get an amen? Okay. So then the next one, I had a salon owner, and I was like, she's so successful. She just wants to do this to help me. Guys, she spent $1,000 in BV in her order. Yet here we are not offering 3 pot products as a combo deal all the time. We should lead big, right? When you go to sell something on Marketplace, are you like, starting rate $5, I'd like it to go up if you want to offer more? No, okay, right? When you buy a car, I know that sounds crazy stupid, but you guys, that's what it sounds like. Let me put it into perspective for you, okay? Or when you go to buy a car, do you hear the salesman ever say, well, here's the car, but maybe we'll add the tires on? No, okay? Or the oil changes. No, they incentive. They're like, this is a package deal. And in fact, if you buy this car today, you're going to get free tire rotations, free oil change, free car wash, oh, and free diet soda from the gas station next door. Like, we have to give value. And if at that point I'm like, no, sis, I don't want your oil changes for the next 2 years. Can you take off $100? I can negotiate. But if we are spending other people's money for them, you are going to take a long time to fill this volume to make these promotions happen. Okay. And so we led with wraps, Fat Fighters, and defining gel. Those are the 3 products. It was $108. It was 80 BV. And we had 4 customers at 80 BV, and the distributor's auto shipment, and you were at 400. That's it. Okay. So what are the 3 products? And so here we are. Can I just be real? Like, I know this is recorded, but we have pick 2, pick 3. Why aren't we leading with a pick 5 only? Only pick 5. Only pick 5. There's no pick 2, no pick 3. You want one product, you pay full price. Pick 5, sis. Pick 5 products today for this price. Because if we start high, we can always go lower. Or guess what? While you're at it, if you're picking 5 products, why don't you just do the business with me? It's $39. You can get $150 in free product in your 30 days if you want to work really hard. How about that? You can get your 5 product for free. It's all perspective. That's it. It's just perspective. So don't spend people's money for them. Just because you can afford it doesn't mean they can afford it. What you use, people will buy. And so then this is also, just like Kel said, if you are learning products, your KPI list number 5, I think, is share someone's corporate approved pictures. It's wrong on there. It's learn a new product and share someone's corporate approved pictures. And what I found is that you are going out and learning products I never had an upline to go ask, how much is this? I didn't have an upline to go ask, what's in this? What are the ingredients? I didn't have an upline to ask, what if they're breastfeeding or pregnant? I had to go figure it out. And so if you go and study those products, and that's what, Kels was saying, you're going to be more lit that our collagen has 5 types of collagen in it. Okay. And you're gonna be like, everyone needs collagen. Do you know that collagen is great for gut health? Do you know that if you're not pooping every single day, you have 11 toxic meals stored in your system? No kidding, you're not losing weight. Do you know that if you're not sleeping every single day, you won't lose weight no matter what you do? Okay, how do I know that information? Not because Mark called me and told me. I have it because I went and studied the product, and I'm not green. I hate studying. Are you kidding me? I couldn't wait to get out of high school. I never went to college. Don't care. Don't put a book in front of me. But you can put money in front of me, and I'll surely learn it, right? So as you get more passionate about the products, people feel that passion. They feel your excitement. And as you're like, no, dude, this is what I used, 5 products every single day, they're going to be like, okay, well, I like 4. Can I pick 4? You're like, yes, cool. And then you're going to retain them. Okay. Yep. Something shifted in a way in our field where people are like, I'm going to lead with the cleanse. Cool. That's a 2-day product. Do you think they're going to hang on to that product for a year? No. Okay. Hair, skin, and nails, same thing. Are they going to see results in 24 hours? No. Thermophyte X? No. Coffee? Yes. Wraps? Yes. Reds? Yes. Confianza? 100%. Okay. So we want to find the sister products and then start diving in. But like, where did we get off that like one product is too much already? No. Are you kidding me?
I think the cleanse, we even sometimes, and I found myself guilty of this when I haven't done my own research and due diligence on some of the products, because I feel like it's just like a Tinder swipe, right? It's just like, okay, like I'll just do this 2-day product, but like I'm not committing to it, right? Like, and it's like, no, like that's the point, right? You are working hard to get the products out there, to talk about the products. Like, getting somebody a cleanse is doing no justice for them or you. And I love what you were talking about, doing your own research, because I will be honest, when we came out with the probiotic, people were so hyped. And it was one of the products that I was like, my grandma takes probiotics. Like, yes. I need to take a probiotic. And I'm not kidding. I spent like a night, probably like an hour and a half, 90 minutes, just researching probiotics, not even our probiotic, but I was like, why are there benefits of probiotic? Why do we need probiotics? Like, I just wanted to know what the heck somebody needs a probiotic for. Like, am I a candidate for a probiotic? I'm telling you, I'm so hype off probiotic now because I did my own dang research, not because I waited for somebody else to come out with the FAQ, not because I waited, but I learned from Google. Okay. I learned from my own research, and you are going to be so much more passionate when you start learning from your own resources and you start saying like, oh, well, actually one of my girls, like she did that and she saw these results. Nope. You don't even need those results. And once you find the info. And so allow yourself the space to become passionate, because if you wait for other people to tell you why you should be passionate, you're halfway passionate. Mm-hmm. It's diluted. It's like the game of telephone, right? The information gets misconstrued. So go and figure out what you're excited about. And like when I started realizing all this stuff, I was like, everybody needs a probiotic. You get a probiotic, you get a probiotic, you get a probiotic. And it's the same for most of the products that we have. But we don't know that. We're missing out on all these opportunities for us to get excited because we're so busy talking about what we don't have or what we didn't get or how much something costs or what BB is. And it's like, we're focusing on the wrong things, because exactly what Amber said, we have so many opportunities and so much here in our hands. And so let's not get off track. Okay, that's all. Oh, and then the other thing I wanted to add, I'm going to be quiet after this, is when she was talking about not spending other people's money for them, it is so crucial. That is so crucial. But also don't do this with the business. Don't wait for kits to come out that are $39 because that's what that is devaluing what we have our hands on. Okay, there are situations in which people are going to necessarily struggle for money, but also I used to think, I actually prejudged people that I didn't think needed money. I assumed they didn't need money, right? I was the opposite of Amber. Alyssa Haller's sister, who's on here, she's in one of my triples now. She's a lawyer, and she called me and I was like, hey, like what products are you interested in? What are your goals? She's like, actually, I'm interested in the big business. I almost peed my pants. I was like, this girl's a lawyer. But like, guys, we just don't understand sometimes what happens, like what people are looking for, what they need. You don't know if that person has debt, has kids that they want to be home with. You just don't know their situation. And so don't prejudge if somebody needs extra income. The average millionaire has 7 sources of income. That's one of the reasons I joined. So don't do that with a business either, not just the products. Okay. So my next question is how do you, on your days where you don't necessarily feel quote unquote like working the business, what is your biggest tips for staying consistent? Because I think that sometimes we all know that we should, but we let our feelings take over a little bit. What are your biggest tips for how to combat that?
So that's where I came up with KPI. And that's what I did to go ambassador in 2.5 years. Those were the same tasks that I did that I still do. And I can do those in my feelings. I can do those while I'm sick in bed. I can do those when my mood is, you're crazy. Okay. Like I always tell my team, you do it regardless of your thoughts, feelings, emotions, and mood. If you can get past that, and you won't get past your feelings. You won't get past your mood. You're still going to be a brat tomorrow. Promise. Okay. Like there's still those things that we're going to do, but I'm going to do it regardless because I know the alternative is going back to work and missing out on my kids. And I'll be darned if I do that. Okay. I know that if I don't do these things, like I know what it's like to be broke. I know what it's like to not have money in my bank account. I know what it's like to have my parents pay for Christmas. I am darned if you think that I can't take 1 hour from my business a day and do it regardless of my feelings, regardless if I'm depressed. Okay. Can we go there? I get it. Right? I get it. It's freaking 2020. All right. But I do this, and it's not that I love sending out messages. Forget about it. I don't enjoy that at all. What I love is seeing people's results, and I don't get to enjoy that without the journey of sending the message. And so you do it regardless. And somebody told me this early on in my business, and I'm going to share it with you. And I wish I could remember who told me so that I could give them credit, but I don't remember who told me. And they said, unless you can look at your kid and say, sorry, you just weren't worth it today for mommy to work hard. You weren't worth it. Then get your freaking butt to work. And I have to remind myself of that. Unless I want to look at my babies and say, sorry guys, you weren't worth it. That's all you have. Or what's your why? Maybe it's your spouse. Maybe it's your spouse that's sick. Sorry, honey, you just weren't worth it today. Then I'd highly suggest that you do. And it's stuck in the back of my mind every single day. And so I think just comparing, like, the alternative. And Josh actually went live. We're going to share it on Thursday in the Road to VIP page about the harvest. And, we're here in Michigan and there's all these apple farms and wineries and apple farms. And do you guys know that an apple tree takes 2 to 5 years to harvest? And so if you don't think that whenever they planted these trees, I'm sure they didn't feel like it on that day when they're like, I won't see the harvest for 5 years. But you do it regardless. And I'm sure every day while they're like, this isn't paying me money, these trees are just growing so small. I don't want to water them. I don't want to take care of them. I don't want to do the hard work. My feelings are involved. They just abandon the trees? No. But in 5 years, they're going to see that harvest. And even on the first harvest, they won't make their money back. But you have to be consistent day by day, by day by day, regardless of your feelings. Okay, your feelings will be with you forever. Newsflash, right? The season, it's so interesting. I'm like, school's going to end every single year, guys. Christmas is coming every single year. Holiday seasons, summer school, all that's coming every single year. Get used to it, right? Learn to adapt, learn to pivot. And that's why I follow KPI. It gives me a focus. I either did it or I didn't do it. It gives me confidence to say I've completed it. I want to go do it again. And it keeps me focused. So it allows me the time to be a mom and a wife and not feel guilty.
I love that. And I think one of the questions was, which I always find this question a little bit like annoying because it's like, why are no men ever asked how they balance
right
family?
Babe, you want to ask?
Like, why? My husband's never been asked that on his work panel. Like, I'm so confused. Why is it just the women? Okay. But that's another story for another Zoom. So how have you best um, kind of, I don't even really like the word balance, but I use blending. Like, how do you blend it together? Me personally, I'm not necessarily a believer that like my kids should never see me work. I actually love them to see
Yeah,
me work.
for sure.
But what have you learned on this journey? Because I mean, like you said, your son has seen both of you guys home full time. But being home full time doesn't mean you don't do anything full time, right? It means that you work, and you just get to do it a little bit more flexibly. So how, like, to somebody who's kind of trying to find that flow, that hustle and the flow and all of that, what would be some of your best advice?
I think the first thing is know that you can have it all. The biggest thing that I see when I coach is that people, us as women, when we do something, most of the time we do it full hearted. If we want to be a brat that day, oh, it is. I am a committed 100%. You are going to hear it. You are going to see it. You're going to feel it. Okay. Can I get an amen? The second part of this is that we feel like if I want to be a good mom, I can't be a good wife. And if I'm a good wife and a good mom, I can't have a banging body and I can't go work out at the gym. And if I go work out at the gym, then I'm taking time away from being a wife and being a mom. Oh, and then let's add a business in it too. So there's these 4 categories, right? And I believe you can have it all. Will there be equal balance in all of it? Not necessarily every single day, but I think you can get pretty darn close. In my opinion, I think you can. Does it take work? Yes. But one of the best things I think that I learned along this is communication. If I want my husband involved, I'm going to tell him I want him involved. If I don't, I'm surely going to tell him, I just need you to listen. Don't say anything about anything. Okay. So learn to communicate. All right. Then there's going to be seasons. Josh and I just had to have another seasonal talk about what's on my plate and how this wasn't the plate that I wanted and how I'm hungry and I'm going to clear my plate so I can go have another feast. Okay. And so I asked him to pick up other stuff and can we work on this and can we maneuver this? Everything is constantly changing and growing. And if your daily schedule, if your habits are the same as they were when you started, you're not growing, right? There was a time in my business when I had to commit with a friend. This sounds really stupid, but I was so depressed that I wasn't getting ready every single day. And by ready, I mean showing up like a soft 5. Okay. Like I'm not saying a 10, I'm not going to a wedding, but like a soft 5. Okay. And my whole thing is if Mark calls you right now and says, I want to FaceTime you, are you ready? And if I say no, wait, hold on. I'm not ready. Let me put a filter on, let me handle, let me do all the things. Then that's a problem because you need to show up as a CEO. And so I had to hold myself accountable with my friend. I was like, okay, every day we're going to get ready. We're going to get changed. We're going to get out of the pajamas because you want to break that cycle. And that's a whole nother Zoom that I could talk about habits and your confidence and all these things. But I might get out of pajamas and get back into sweats, but at least they're going to match and at least they'll have perfume on them. Okay. So, because if you feel better, you perform better. And so having all these different categories, I know you can have it all, but have you included your kids and what they get when you reach a promotion? Have you included in your kids when mom goes and takes care of her body and her mental health that she's going to be a better mom? Have you included in your husband how you will be a better wife if you can be a better mom and if you can work on your business here and go work on yourself here? And so this is something that Josh and I do not perfectly, but I feel like we do it very well, and that's put our marriage first. One of the worst things that I hate seeing is when people come into this business and they're like, my marriage is falling apart and they blame the business. That is not true. And if it is, you put it there. And I'm sorry to break it to you, but there's something that happened before that this is the straw that you realized it actually sucks and something needs to change. And either you'll decide to change it or you won't. And we can go into a marriage counseling. Okay. But we put ourselves before our kids. We do. And our kids see that. And our kids are constantly, even this morning, they're like, are you guys going on a date today? I'm like, no, because you don't get to play electronics while I'm gone. Chill out. Like that's what they want, right? But they see that we love each other and then they do better. And we are not perfect, but we try really freaking hard. And then I go with my kids and they know mom's on a Zoom. If I go like this off camera and you guys start to see me like this means get the heck out of here or you're going to be grounded, right? But they see that I'm working. Mom's on a Zoom. Shh.
They know now. They're a part of this. They know that if I don't work hard right now from 7 to 11 p.m. doing Zooms, we don't get to go to the farm and eat the apples and buy the fuzzy socks and do all that. And so take them along this journey with you, but you can have it all. And if you're not taking care of yourself, and you think I have to put my baby first, your baby would actually like a really good mom. And a baby would actually like you to put yourself first. And it's not selfish. It's selfish not to. And I don't know if you needed to hear that or if you're still battling with that, but I was there once. And I thought that everything rose and fell on my kids. Well, guess what? I actually wasn't giving them anything because I had nothing to give. And so you can have it all. There's going to be seasons when you're pouring more into your business and less into, your marriage, but there's that centerpiece, that sense of I can have it all, that you can, but you have to recognize, what are you avoiding too? Are you avoiding your business and blaming your kids? Are you avoiding your kids blaming your business? Are you blaming your business on your marriage? Or your marriage on your business? Vice versa. Oh, I don't have time to work out. I don't have time. Yes, you do. You don't make the time. I'm working 17 hours and I'm not seeing the results. What are you avoiding in your marriage that's forcing you to work your business? Did I cuss? Sorry. These are the reality checks that I've had to do for myself, you guys. And the only reason why I'm saying it is because I've been there. And I hope that this allows you so you don't get there, right? You can have it all. I'm not saying every marriage is the best. I'm not saying every mom is the best. Surely I scream and cuss at my kids all the time, okay? But I'm not perfect, but I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
I want to give myself grace. And so you have to give yourself that grace and just know that you can have it all. You can, if you choose it, but it's a choice.
I love that so much. That's probably as well put as I've ever heard anybody say it, because I think that so often, I actually grew up, just to give you guys an interesting perspective, my mom was a stay-at-home mom. And so I saw her put us first. And it actually, and this is no disrespect to stay-at-home moms, but that's actually one of the reasons I work so hard, is because I saw her be so dependent, and be so almost to the point where it was like, what are your interests? Who are you outside of us? And what are your passions? And so being a good mom, even though society and social media and all of this stuff is saying, that means you have to be there all the time and do all the things and whatever, really your kid just wants to know you, but you have to know you first. And you have to be really sure about who you are. And it's so cool because my daughter, who's 5, she said to me, we talk all the time about what she wants to do and who she wants to become. And she said, I want to be a doctor and a mom. And because of what I'm doing as a mother, I also show her that she can have both. Right? She can do both. It's not one or the other. It's not something that she has to pick. If you guys are looking for a good book, I'm finishing up this book called Pick 3, and it's by Mark Zuckerberg's sister. Okay. And she talks about how you can have it all, but just not every day. And she talks about picking and committing to 3 things a day and doing those 3 things amazingly. And then the next day doing those things. And she has the same essential categories that Amber has, but I think she adds sleep and social life in there or something. And so it's just understanding all of knowing that whatever you do, commit to it. Don't be halfway into whatever it is that you're doing, and know that your kid wants to see you succeed. You are the example to your kids. And so if you wouldn't want to be in your shoes, why would you think you're setting a good example? If you're so stressed out that you can't do X, Y, or Z, then you got to reevaluate your situation. And anybody knows that you're going to fall off. If you're successful at this business, you've fallen off more than the people who aren't successful. The difference is that you're still here and you've gotten back on. Right? Because it's part of what you do. So stop expecting it to get easier. It's one of my favorite quotes. Don't expect it or want it to get easier. Wish you were better.
Yep.
And just get 100%. Better. And
go ahead, Kelsey. No, go ahead. Finish. I
Go,
don't want
ask you the
to
next
lose my
question. So
thought.
if you want to add on that.
You guys sleep. It's so important. And I'm glad you brought that up, because there was a season when I felt like if I'm sleeping, I'm not working. I can sleep when I'm dead. That's what I always would say. Ew, that's disgusting. First of all, like, no, you're not sleeping when you're dead. You're dead. Like, I want to live while I'm alive. And if I don't get the sleep, and I think a lot of times too, there's going to be seasons where months end, like, yeah, more than likely I don't go to bed with my husband, but that is something that's so important to me. And I worked my freaking tail off to enjoy the wake up with my husband, in the sleep with my husband. And that is a moment where you guys can connect and become that one. And I would highly recommend that if you don't, that you stop. If it's like sending the kid to school and then having 6 hours of homework. What? Like, why? Right? And so if you have all day to work your business, you are either avoiding, if you haven't finished it by the time homeboy comes home and have dinner and be able to clock in and clock out, we need to have a schedule, right? But you should absolutely be able to go to bed with your spouse and not feel guilty about that and get a good night's rest. If I don't sleep, what does that do for my cortisol levels? Well, it stresses me out. It makes me depressed. Okay. I also don't have energy to be a good mom or a good wife or a good Amber, let alone a good business partner. And levels high, which means I'm not going to have a healthy body, which means I'm not going to be around very long to take care of my kid, that I take care of my husband. Go to sleep and enjoy it. Right.
Yep. So good. In one of the parts in sleep that she talks about, she says that there's a study done, and somebody who was sleep deprived was actually more dangerous to drive than somebody who had been drinking alcohol.
Okay.
And so, like, that's how much it can affect your brain. And it's something that we don't emphasize enough. And we do start to feel guilty because it's like this grind culture that we live in, when it's like, let's start a whole new thing about, let's just have efficiency culture. Hey, how quick can you get it done? If somebody can get it done quicker than you, that's what we need to celebrate, not how long you worked, right? Like, that should not be the trophy. It should be, how efficient was that? How quick can I get this done? And race yourself and race other people and say, how quick can I get this done? How efficient can I be? Okay. Can you talk about how you like schedule your day, especially with everything that's going on and all the changing? Like, what are some things that you consistently do that no matter what happens, it sets you up for success? Like, I know
So,
you do your KPI, but like, how do you know when you're
yeah.
going to work?
So I'm on a pretty good schedule now, because I have to be. You guys, every day is a vacation for me, quite literally. And we wake up in a new city, a new state every 2 weeks. And so I'm constantly in this vacation mode. And so I have to be disciplined and not enjoy the beach and the mountain biking, and unless I work, right? So I get to earn it. And so one thing I do is I prep my week. If it's important to you, write it down on a calendar. If it's not important to you, don't write it down on a calendar. And that includes date night. That includes family time. That includes personal time. That includes coffee with the friends, girls' nights, etc. Okay. So on Sundays, that's my prep day. Most people choose Monday, Saturday, Friday. I don't care what day you pick, but you need a prep day. And that is for you to sit down with no distractions and get out a paper and pencil. I choose paper and pencil just because I'm on my phone. If I'm on my phone and I get a notification, I'm now on Instagram, which is on Pinterest, which now I'm on TikTok, and then I'm distracted. So I like paper and pencil. And for me, trying to increase my memory, I like to write it down so I can like take a mental picture of it versus just typing. Okay, so I prep my day. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, well, starting Sunday night, I write down the family call. I write down all my Zooms for the week. And then I kind of work around that because those are pretty secure. And then anything else I double book. If I book a one-on-one with a team member, I also book what else if they don't show up. So that way I'm not discouraged or disappointed or waste that time scrolling. So I double book on one-on-ones or coaching calls or anything else besides the Zoom. And then I go in and I schedule family time. So last night I literally sat down in my planner and I put, okay, I have work in the morning. I'm going to do my KPIs on Mondays in the morning before I get out of, about by 10 o'clock is usually when I like to have it done by. And then I scheduled a FaceTime with my best friend to have coffee with her. She's in Arizona. I'm in Michigan. So I put that on my calendar. I'm going to do that. And I always give myself about a 30-minute window on both sides. So that way I'm not overwhelmed with, oh crap, I'm late. Oh my gosh, I have so much to do. I want it gracefully. And then I scheduled a family day. I knew we wanted to go to the farm. And again, gave myself that 30-minute window before and after. And then we went to the farm. I was not answering phones. I was not working my business. I'm clocked out. That is my family time. And then I knew that tonight I was going to be on Zooms from 7 to 11. So I wrote those down. They're important to me. And then I know my Tuesdays are pretty consistent. My Zooms are pretty consistent throughout the week, but I write down when I'm working. Sundays are laundry day. So I do all the laundry. I like to set my week. And then I try and leave Thursday night, Friday, and Saturday pretty open to do my Sabbath, usually on Friday or Saturday. I don't like to do Sunday just because I feel like Sunday for me is such a good day for engaging in potentials and stuff. So I pick a different day. And then I just write it down. I'm a paper and pencil kind of person. Then I have to write it down. If I don't write it down, it doesn't happen. So that's how I do my schedule, and it works when, and then, again, what time to go to bed that varies, and usually at night. If I don't have Zooms, then I kind of debrief and make sure that I've checked everything off and finish up some loose odds and ends of giveaways. Like last night, I forgot. I was like supposed to do a giveaway winner, and somebody was like, "Hey, did you do that?" And I was like, "Oops, here it is, number 6 winner. Sorry." Like I didn't write it down. That wasn't important to me, so I missed it.
Yeah, no, I love that. And actually, I am not practiced in this yet, and so like I had to get so specific because I found myself saying work, and then my work would be very generic. And so I literally have gotten to the point where I had to write every KPI activity down and what time I was doing it, or else it didn't happen, right? Because sometimes we can work and be scrolling on Instagram and it's not really work, right? If we're being honest with ourselves. But what work are you doing? Get as specific as you need to be, especially if you have a blue personality and you're really good at justifying things to yourself. Like I can be, as I'm like, oh no, I engaged, I commented on like 14 people's stuff. That was my work for that time. It's like, that's not what you meant. That you meant you were supposed to send out messages. So like I try to get as specific as possible. Okay. Is there any like last minute tips you have to share just for somebody that feels like, this year has been so bizarre and I don't know how to get back on track, and I started this year off so strong, but I really want to finish it strong, but I feel really distracted. I feel like that's a lot of people. Is everything like energy is pretty good, but there's a lot of distractions.
For sure.
So what would you speak to on that? And then I'll let you go.
One thing that I learned from GLS, which is the Global Leadership Summit that they do every single year, is automate, delegate, or eliminate. And I eliminate a lot. Things that I avoid, I need to eliminate. The things that are safe for me, I need to eliminate. So whether that's your food, eliminate it. Okay. Whether that's your movies or your Xbox or your X, Y, and Z, you need to eliminate it. If it's a distraction, you eliminate it. Okay. Automating. So a lot of my content I pull on Sundays, which is my prep day, right? And I prep all my posts for the week. That way I feel like doing live post is so daunting, and that's where like, I don't know what to say. What if my feelings get in the way at 4:00 when I'm supposed to post my story and I don't want to post my story? It eliminates the excuses. So I prep, I automate all that stuff. I just save it into albums, and I have a whole prep how I do it. So that way I'm not using the excuse like, oh, sorry, I was just really busy today. I couldn't like take a selfie, right? Or I couldn't get my story up, or I couldn't message people. Like I have it all teed up for the week. And you guys will find that doing that alone will tee up so many hours throughout the day, because we get distracted. Every time the phone goes off, we get distracted. We break our momentum. And so that's pretty much what I do and what I would recommend. And then following KPIs. If you are not I'm not saying KPI is going to fix everything, you guys. But what I'm saying is what you're doing is not working, let me make that very clear, not working, as in it's not producing results, you're not moving the mark, you're not completing your steps to success, you're not enrolling the distributors or the customers that you want, then do something different. And KPIs have eliminated that distraction plan. It's you either did it or you didn't do it. It's not a, well, I kind of worked my business, I kind of did that. Yeah, I think I shared my story last week. Okay, well, I actually don't know when I added the last 20 people. Like, it makes you do the work and feel accomplished. And so that way you can do it again and again and again. I had a presidential reach out to me, and she said, Amber, I'm so sorry that I've actually been late to the game with this, but she's like, I have finally dove into KPIs. This was just this morning, and I was so excited about it. And she said, I've been doing it 3 days. I feel less mom guilt. I've signed up 3 distributors and 3 customers. That's more than I've done in the last 30 days. 3 days. 3 days of being consistent with it, you guys. Like, it's so simple, but I think a lot of times we're like, oh gosh, I'm actually more scared of how powerful I am going to be. I am actually scared of the excuses that I can't lean on once I get my crap together. And so do it regardless of those thoughts, feelings, emotions, and mood, and get organized, eliminate, find out where you're lacking, right? I had a breakdown 2 weeks ago, like snot, boogers, whole 9 yards, like, baby, just hold me. Like, I'm losing it. I'm losing it. And immediately what came to my mind was, you forgot to pray every single day. You forgot to connect. You forgot how to do personal development. You were waiting till the last of the hour to serve him instead of the first of the hour. And I was like, oh, I am so sorry. How dare you give me this fruit and I think it's spoiled, right? So finding those areas where you're like, you know what, I'm just going to try this on for a moment. Or you know what, maybe I haven't taken time to actually put my kids in bed. And I feel like a crappy mom. Okay? There's nothing to fix. We just can do better. And I think once you figure that out of like, what are the areas, where are you depressed? Why aren't you, why don't you have energy? Well, my diet sucks. I've been eating chips and salsa for 27 days straight. And now I have no energy, or now I've gained 10 pounds during quarantine. Okay, then get it together. Nobody's coming to save you. Like, you're the CEO. I always ask, what if I didn't have Zooms? What if I didn't have the family calls? What if I didn't have power hours? What if I didn't have a team page? How would you build your business? How would you show up as the CEO? You'd do it regardless. You surely would do it regardless. What if as a diamond or above, you could only keep the lowest paycheck on your team and you had to live off that next month, right before Christmas? Surely you'd get to work, because you not advancing is only holding back the people that are hungry for this and want this. You have to go so they can come with you. They have to come with you. But if you're playing small, so will they.
So good. It's so good. It's all so good. Oh my gosh. Do you want to close this out in prayer, or do you want me to?
You know what? I would love for you to. I loved your prayer. Normally I would, but Kelsey, I would love for you to.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Dear Lord, we just want to say thank you so much for Amber. Thank you so much for her leadership. Thank you so much for constantly pursuing her. Even maybe when she was running away from you, that you constantly pursued her, because she's always been worthy to you, Lord. We thank you for consistently pursuing us. Even when we forget about you, you're so gentle with us, and we're so grateful for just how gracious you are, God. We're grateful for the kind of God you are, and how you show us to love other people. And we're grateful that you were able to just be here tonight, be in our presence, and speak through Amber. We thank you for reminding us to put you first, not just to come to you at the end of the day as we're checking something off of our box, but to start each day with you, because we know you're the reason. You're the reason for every season. And so we're grateful. We're so grateful, Jesus. We're so excited to see how you bless each and every one of us. But we ask you, Lord, to grow our character so we can sustain the blessings that you give us, and that we can become more like you each and every day, because we know in your word it says it's not our goal to do more for you, but to become more like you. And so as we use the gifts that we have and the talents that you gave us, that we can touch more lives and more people. Thank you again for Amber. Thank you for every single person that's on this Zoom. And I ask that you just bless and abundantly beyond all that they can ask or imagine, because we know all good things come from you. We love you so much. so grateful for what you've done, but even more excited for what you're going to do. In your name we pray. Amen. Thank you, Amber. Thank you so much. I love you guys. I hope you have an awesome night.